All right, we are back. It's been a couple of days and we are ready to get rolling. We're going to go ahead and do a couple of prep. I'm going to go over what actually the Dr. Colorchip paint kit that I got includes, and we're going to check and see what kind of color match this works. We're going to try in a spot that's kind of inconspicuous, and I'll show that to you in a second. We're going to go over what I got. I can't remember the name of this kit. It's been a little while since I've purchased it. But we've got microfiber cloth. These are designed, I think, to just kind of rub away the paint once we get the color chip down. Comes with one pair of gloves, not going to be helpful. This little bag, a couple of pipettes, a small squeegee, a couple of tiny brushes. There is a squeegee back here. It's a bigger squeegee. Very small section of paint. And then the Sealact stuff, which is basically designed to rub it on your paint after. It's supposed to seal it up and kind of remove it from the areas that aren't chipped, and a couple of small brushes. We're going to go ahead and use a little bit different brush in a second, as you're going to see, but it does come with a few small brushes. It's been a couple days since we've washed the car, done any kind of prep, because it's been hot, rainy, awful, so I forgot this step. I'm going to take some of this isopropyl alcohol, got it from Target. It was like $4 or $5, throw it on a rag, and this is a recommendation. I think they do sell some paint prep stuff on their own, but just trying to get rid of any waxes and contaminants, anything like that, before we go ahead and apply the paint. This section we didn't prepare just because there's no rust on it. But we're going to go in here and just kind of paint it, see what it looks like after. The blue does look like a little brighter shade. Like I said, we'll get a couple of pictures in here. We'll see what this looks like after we get this touched up. Partially it could be because this car has been out in the sun, and this might be the original paint color. But we're just trying to do a little bit of touch up. Okay, my goal on Rust Belt rides, I don't want a perfect show car. I just want a car that's not going to rust. Well, rust as quickly. So we're just going to hit this whole area up because there's a lot of bare metal here. I did not rust convert this because this all looks relatively good. But in the areas that we did use the rust converter, turn that nice rust converter black. That means it is ready to be painted on. But we're just going to slowly work through some of these chips. Again, not a professional painter, not a professional touch-up guy. Trying to keep this thing from turning into a rusty mess. This is the spot where we had these gashes that kind of looked like something maybe fell on the car. This time I'm going to try not to forget. We're just going to put, I'm not putting a whole lot of paint in here again because just a couple of drops, because I don't want this stuff to dry out. So we're going to dangerously just set that right on the hood. Why not, right? It's supposed to be the same color. Give our little bit of an isopropyl alcohol fill up on here. Wipe it down, get rid of any dirt, dust. Again, this was driven in the rain for a little bit, so lots of stuff could get on there. And we're just going to give it a shot here. Color matches pretty well, but we'll be able to tell that this is a retouch. I could go back over this a couple of times, build it up as it dries, get some rubbing compound, rub it out, polish it out, etc. But there's some dents involved with this, so again, the main goal, cover it up, get it to be about the same color. It may come through here with the squeegee, but I feel like that's going to do more damage than anything, especially since a lot of this stuff, like this one here, that's in a dent. Up here in a dent. So we'll just get it painted up. Go from there. Try not to miss any of the bits. So if I do, then that means we gotta come back out and kind of get this all taken care of again. This scratch right here, it's gonna be pretty hard to see on camera. I've tried playing around with the settings a little bit to try and let you be able to see it, but I've had a very difficult time. So there's that scratch, very light, doesn't hit the whole thing. Let me go get the squeegee. We're gonna give this a shot. So glad they made this squeegee clear, let me just tell you. Okay, not gonna forget this step. Wipe it down, wipe this squeegee down, give that all a second to dry. Gonna throw some new paint in here. Again, just trying to go a couple of drops at a time. This stuff gets gummy quick, so we're just actually gonna set this one pipette aside and grab another one since they gave us a bunch. You can also get some small syringes off of Amazon, etc. I'm sure that'll work out well as well. Just gonna do a couple more drops, like 3. Because that's an awful lot of paint there for this scratch. And we're gonna try, yeah, that's way too much. So it looks like I'm going to squeegee it up. You're supposed to kind of squeegee it to the side. I actually to grab their smaller squeegee. They give me this little green one too, because there's no way that I'm going to be able to do that over. So we're going to go ahead. You can see we're doing this. And actually, that did a pretty good job of covering. Okay, leaving it alone. I'm going to try their method. If anything else, I can always do some rubbing compound. And then finally, I've got one other spot. I'm going to get you over there and situated. There you can see my whole messy pile of stuff. Trying to keep it on a rag. Can't forget this step. A little isopropyl alcohol wipe. Dries really quick, nice and warm out here. This paint might be a little tacky already. Yep, it's already super tacky. This stuff dries real quick, so trying to fill up the area a little bit. Trying to get a little bit more liquid out here. There's a little hair in there. We're gonna use this small squeegee. I'm just gonna try and swipe it like this. Whoop! No, that didn't work out great. That worked really poor. Oh, wow! Should have just gone with some fresh paint here. Let's see if we can get this all cleaned up. Glad I got my paint rag with some isopropyl ready to go. All right, we're gonna get my paint bucket's getting a little empty there, so we will wipe this down, get our squeegee wipe down. Should not have used that tacky of paint. All right, so got a new one of these. Bought a ton of these at Michael's. The squeegee should be okay, but we're just going to go a couple drops here. 1, 2, 3. Squeeze that out. Suck this stuff up. And again, you're supposed to not get it in the area. You're kind of supposed to build it out on the outside. A little easier said than done. We got a bunch of these chips to deal with. But we'll give it a shot, kind of going on the outside of it. Okay, there we go. Alright, that's probably as much coverage we're going to get. I'm going to use a brush, something that's not one of theirs, quickly. grab another brush just to build in some of those other areas. Right, now we're supposed to be able to use their Sealact, and we should be able to kind of buff this out quickly in a few minutes, so I will be back. Paint's hazy, there's a bunch of ridges and bumps and stuff, so we're going to try their approved method to take care of this. This is one of these little buffing cloths. This stuff. Shake this stuff up a lot. You can't really see it because we've got this, so Sealact is what they call it. It's supposed to work great. If I pull up my phone again real quick, vigorously shake the bottle for 10 seconds. And we're just supposed to kind of rub this, give this little cloth a little bit of this stuff. Probably going to use a glove for this since it says it's not great for you, so hold on. Okay, let's try this again. I know you guys have been staring at a paint chip, it's lots of fun. So, they say you don't use a whole lot. It's just a bunch of drops and very light pressure. Just rub on it. You're supposed to do this for like 30 to 45 seconds, so we're just going to do that for a little bit and see what happens. Very light pressure, like I'm just letting this essentially float. Some areas I'm using a little bit more, where I can see some visible ridges. But we'll see what this looks like. That's all blue. But it definitely helped remove some of the scumminess out of here. This is, we'll let that go. Yeah. And you're supposed to buff it away with this applied microfiber cloth. So again, just using this. It doesn't look awful. Doesn't look great. But we'll do one more kind of attack with the Sealact stuff. Looks a lot better than it did. So maybe this stuff actually is really great. Again, I am using my glove. We're gonna wet this up a little bit with this stuff. Give it a rub. Now we're supposed to just let that happen. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move over here while we let that kind of do its thing. And you can see this one is pretty gnarly. So let's see how this stuff does on the gnarly area. I'm just going to use a different zone here. They do say shake this up a lot as you do this, because this stuff apparently just dies right off. So again, they're saying light pressure, rub it. I'm just trying to get this ridge over here, which may actually just have to get buffed. I'm going to go harder, but we'll see how that goes. Kind of setting that over there on my chemical area. We'll go back here. Buff this out. I mean, that looks halfway decent. It's hazy, so I don't know how to get rid of this haze. Although this is all extra. We only did that little scratch right here, so let's go to town a little bit more. I'm gonna get a little bit more of that cloth. You may actually just throw it on a microfiber, another sacrificial one. Looks like I'll be ordering another pack of these from Amazon. But I feel like these are, well, let's use their recommended stuff. I think I got another one in my pocket. Yes. So, shake it up. It says it pretty much starts to separate after about 10 seconds of not using it. So, and just give this spot a rub, because there's a lot of paint on it. Okay, we'll let that go. Come over here, buff this out. Yeah, we still got a lot going on here. All right, so we still got a lot going on there. We'll buff this away now. Still got a lot going on it. So we'll give it another rub down. Sorry for that popping noise. This is an aluminum trunk, so you can tell you can't really put a lot of pressure on it. Or that happens over and over again. So, I mean, it looks like it's cleaning up. Should just stay in the chip now. We'll let that haze up. We're gonna come back over to the other side while we're doing that. So here's the other side. I feel like I'm repeating myself an awful lot, but now you guys get a view. Now you guys get a view on how this is going. So I just shook it up a little bit more. And we're just gonna go to town. This stuff is, they say it's safe for clear coat, it's safe for everything. So we're gonna let that kind of soak in, work there, come back over here. Oh, drop this. Not great. I prefer not to drop anything I'm doing paint work with. So it's kind of hard to see, but it actually does a pretty good job of filling in the chip. Got this little hazy spot. This still is a drag, but it's no longer got less stuff on it. So it's doing its thing. It's just way more time consuming than I thought it would be. So that should be all of the stuff. I might have done a little too much pressure. We'll let that go. Then we're coming back here, but I'm gonna go grab my stool. Editor Adam here. I could show you a lot more footage of me rubbing paint with the Sealact. Overall, I would say for anything major, you're gonna have a difficult time getting that smooth finish that you might have seen in some of their videos. The small scratch worked out pretty well with a lot of work. There was a lot of buffing and hitting with Sealact. Not a ton of success with some of the larger things. The color match worked pretty good. I think it's going to do a good job in just keeping those areas protected and sealed. Maybe with some detailing, maybe next spring when it comes time to get the detailing out and do that again, might help knock some of that stuff down. But overall, I still think it's a pretty decent product. It's just not going to give you as smooth of a finish as you might understand. I'm going to throw some pictures up right after this, and hopefully you can see what it looks like after, I'd probably say a couple of weeks, a month of use on the car, and see how things blend and what it looks like.